Struggling to stay consistent with your self-improvement journey?
You're a f***ing disappointment.
I've been there too. But after 4 years of trial and error, I've finally gotten to a place where I'm finding the right approach to stay consistent and stay on the right path. And I think with my experience, I can really help you out too. My name's Pierce, and I'm going to break down 4 of the most important things that I've learned through my journey so far to help you reach your potential faster by avoiding some common but very easily avoided mistakes that I've made on my journey. So by the end of this video, you'll be one step closer to reaching your full potential. Lesson 1. Routine, routine, routine. As we all know, we are defined by our habits, by what we do each day. So creating a perfect day for yourself where you have time to be productive, active, and reflective is the logical solution. And I'm sure it's not new to you that having routine actually allows you to have more freedom. Because it's only by setting parameters for this freedom where freedom actually feels fulfilling and enjoyable. And of course, having a routine helps you be consistent because you don't have to obviously keep referring and thinking about what to do each time when you have a set out schedule for yourself to follow. But we all know that in reality, these routines that we make for ourselves, although they once did serve us well, down our line and down the journey, they eventually become almost obsolete. And this is the big mistake that I made. I had the same schedule that I made for myself early on in my journey, and I tried to keep to it for years because, as we all know, we get complacent sometimes. That routine that once used to give you so much joy and give you motivation to achieve your goals suddenly becomes uninteresting, boring, even trivial. And this is a big mistake that I made. I started to believe that this routine that I made for myself was beneath me, that I didn't have to do it anymore, that I was too advanced to follow a routine. But the truth is that I became complacent due to the lack of results that I was getting. When you stick to a routine for so long, but you don't feel like you're seeing the results that you think you deserve, your brain will start, creating excuses for yourself. You'll be like, what's the point of doing this routine when I'm not even getting what I should get from it? And eventually you'll start to break down, you'll start to do less of the things on your routine. Maybe instead of doing 5 out of the 5 things you set, maybe you start to do 2 and then 1. And before you know it, you're just not following your routine at all. But what I've discovered is that you are not better than your routine. You are not better than these medial, small tasks that you set yourself each day. And you're never going to be too advanced or too ahead in life to not have a routine. Because although it may feel like you've been so far away from this routine that now you feel like you're a bit of a lost cause and you kind of fall back to the bad habits that you used to do, you have to remind yourself that this routine is keeping you rooted in your goals. It's keeping you rooted in your long-term goals, in what you want to achieve in the long term. So stay consistent with this routine. So the solution I found is that you have to continuously tweak and change your routine. As you know, we are all changing and growing. So since we're changing, it's important that we change our routines, that we add more tasks, that we take certain tasks away. So it's important to tweak your routine and keep it fresh and interesting. But the truth is, the more appealing that your routine is, the more likely you are to stick to it. Okay, lesson 2. Don't lose track of your why. During your growth journey and your journey of life, we can become almost jaded with everyday life and forget why we started this journey in the first place, why we wanted to change our lives, why we wanted to do better. In other words, our purpose. Because this why, this big picture, this purpose, gives meaning to our everyday actions and our habits. So what I found, especially during low periods where maybe I was unsatisfied with where I was, or I just wasn't hitting goals and tasks that I wanted to do, I would often lose track of why I wanted to change in the first place, why I wanted to improve myself. And for you, maybe it was a breakup, maybe there was a death in the family, maybe there was just something that made you snap up and be like, okay, I need to do better. I need to change this. So it's important to not lose track of that. And the solution for me was just to literally remind myself, when I'm feeling low, when I'm not feeling in the mood to do the right things, just remind yourself, why am I doing this in the first place? Why do I want to be better? Because obviously it's different for all of us, but whatever that thing is for you, you have to keep it in the front of your mind. Because we are humans, we do forget things. So when you're having those unproductive days, don't beat yourself up any more than you have to. It's pointless. All you have to do is remind yourself why you're doing this in the first place. And the fact that you feel bad when you're having unproductive days is a good sign. That means you know that you should be doing better. That means you know that you're better than that. And if it helps, literally just put a post-it note on your desk or wherever you sit at to remind you why you're doing this in the first place. And because it's helped me so much personally. Lesson number 3, getting over perfectionism. Alright, I'll admit, I am a recovering perfectionist. I really do struggle to not criticize my efforts, and I think you probably feel the same. It's very easy to, in your own head, and almost expect yourself to get everything right, even when it's your first time doing it. And this has happened a lot during my self-improvement journey and my growth journey in general, where I'm trying new things, I'm testing out my limits, I'm testing out my boundaries. And it's very easy to get bogged down in the fact that when you try something for the first time, you're hardly ever going to be great at it. If anything, you're going to be awful. And that feeling of being awful and knowing that you're bad at something can be quite damaging to our egos. But for me, what's worked is to remind myself that I'm not defined by my failures. I'm defined by what I learn from my failures. Because the truth is, you don't learn anything from getting things right, do you? And also, I've just had to remind myself that I'm never going to be perfect. We're never going to be perfect. Regardless of how long we're on this journey of improving ourselves and getting better, we're never going to reach 100 out of 100. We're never going to reach 100 overall. We're never going to be able to 100% do everything correctly. And that is okay, because the goal is progression, not perfection. And what's really helped me with this is something called the 1% rule. So this basically means aiming to just, even on those bad days where you're feeling unproductive and you can't really get out of that rut, making sure not one day goes past where you don't do at least one thing for your future self. And I feel like this has helped me so much, just knowing that even on the days where I'm not feeling my best, I'm not 100%, I can at least just do one thing to help my future self. And for me, that provides me some solace. I know for myself anyway, it's very tempting to just put so many things on my plate, give myself so many tasks to do, and then be upset when I don't get them all, when I don't achieve them all. But the 1% rule has actually saved so many of my days, so many of the times where I felt unproductive or I felt just stressed out by life. What I do is remind myself, just do one thing today. You just do one thing. And lesson number 4, patience is key. All of our journeys are different. What works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. We all have different timescales, different situations, different backgrounds. So it's important to remember that even though you might see other people online that are doing the things you want to do, achieving the things you want to achieve, and maybe they're doing it faster than you, maybe they're younger than you, that does not define who you are. You're not defined by others, you are defined by yourself. Instead of comparing yourself to others that you know literally nothing about, compare yourself to you last year, you 2 years ago. And the truth is, you don't actually know what these people are struggling with. People that you see, that you look up to, that you think are doing so much better than you, you know literally nothing about their personal situations. And you presuming that they're just doing everything better than you really shows how you perceive yourself more than anything. Because for me personally, there's times where I've got so impatient with myself and criticize myself for not doing certain things at a certain time. But it's so important to remind yourself that change takes time. Change takes time. You have to realize that we're trying to do something that is difficult. Improving yourself and becoming better is the most difficult thing you can do in life. Trying to perfect yourself. So you have to have patience. You are human. You will mess up. You will have bad days. You will have highs. You will have lows. All you can do is forgive yourself and bounce back. You make mistakes. You analyze your mistakes and you make changes. Because it's important to have compassion for yourself, to treat yourself like someone that you care about and love. Because if you can't have that own love for yourself, how do you expect the outside world to have any love for you? Okay, so just to recap, you need to keep up with your routines, remember why you're improving yourself in the first place, let go of the need to be perfect, and finally, be patient with yourself. With these lessons in your hands, you'll be sure to take massive steps towards achieving your goals and becoming someone who doesn't just survives, but thrives. If you did like this video, remember to subscribe and hit the like button so this video can reach more people who actually need to hear it. And with that, I'll see you later.